Welcome, friends. Welcome to Passport to Lent Week 3 for our preschoolers. We're so happy that you're here with us today. You know, it's always good to have friends. Lena, do you have friends?
Yes, I have many.
Are they important to you?
They really are.
Yeah. Jesus needed friends. Even though Jesus was fully human and fully God, Jesus needed some friends. And he had 12 disciples that he walked all around with for 3 years. 3 years.
That's a lot of friends.
That is a lot of friends. Have you had a friend, how long has your longest friend been?
Probably my whole life.
That's awesome. Some people, do you have friends that you've known since you were very, very little? Or maybe you have friends at preschool with you. Friends are really nice. Jesus had 12 friends, and in your packet you can see his 12 friends. There they are with their names. This week, I'd like you and your parents to cut out those friends. We're going to show you what we've done with Jesus's friends that you can do at your house. You can cut out his friends and cut out Jesus. You can cut them all out like we did with Jesus, just the one, or you can just cut them out in a bunch. And then you can act out your own stories with Jesus's friends. Do you ever act out stories with your stuffed animals? I do. It's really fun. And I had a dollhouse, and I would make all sorts of stories with the dollhouse.
Yeah.
Did you do that too?
Yes, I did.
So you can think about Jesus and his disciples and what kinds of things that they did. Maybe while they were walking, maybe they saw a big stone and ran up the big stone and jumped off. Have you ever run up something and then jumped off just for fun? I bet Jesus did stuff like that too.
Yep.
What's amazing about Jesus and his disciples are that they were adults. And so adults have jobs, usually. Adults have special jobs. We don't know what all of the jobs were that Jesus's disciples did, but they stopped their jobs and left and went on with Jesus. For 3 years, they walked around with Jesus. They didn't work.
Wow.
I know. That's really strange, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, in your packet, you'll find out some things that people did back then. Back then, people made a lot of pottery. Would you like to pick up our pottery? A lot of people, they used pottery for their plates and for their jugs to carry water in. And do you think that if you lifted it up and let it fall, what do you think would happen?
I think it would break.
I think Lena's right. Their pottery would break all the time, and so more pottery would have to be done. And so that was someone's job. They would make pottery. They also would make clothes. Some people made their own clothes, and some people bought their clothes. Here is a place where people made clothes. Can you see this right here? It's for weaving. Can you pick up a piece of this cloth? Do you know that this cloth was woven by a machine? I don't know how long it takes to weave something like that on a machine, but for people, weaving took a long time. The other thing that people did is they made things with leather. Do you know what leather comes from?
Cow?
You're right. They would make leathers from all different kinds of animals. Sometimes they would use goats' hides, and sometimes they were different hides of different animals. They would take the hide off and they would scrape all of the fur off, and they would make different things with them. Jesus had a special job before he went to talk to people about God. Do you know what that special job was, Lena?
No.
He was a carpenter. A carpenter works with wood. And so Jesus would make things out of wood. What things do you think might be made out of wood?
Maybe a table or a desk, maybe even a chair.
Absolutely. Chairs and tables and doors were made out of wood, and wheels were made out of wood. So Jesus would do those kinds of things, make those kinds of things, and fix them. But when he left with his disciples, he left all of those jobs behind. What jobs do your parents do? I know my dad was an engineer, and my mom was a teacher. What about you, Lena?
My mom is actually an engineer too.
Oh,
And my dad is a landscape architect.
all kinds of jobs. Very different jobs, though, than when we had it in Jesus' time. Though there are people who still make clothes, a lot of those clothes are made by machines. And though a lot of people make pottery, there's a lot of pottery that's made by machines. So it's so very different. Another thing that people did, and we know that a number of the disciples did this. What are they doing here, Lena?
It looks like they're fishing.
That's right, they are fishing. And this is an actual boat that they found that was right from Jesus' time. Fishing was hard work. They would throw big nets out into the ocean, and then they would have to gather it all up with all the fish in it. So you had to be pretty strong to do that. Have you ever gone fishing?
No, I haven't.
I've gone fishing before, and I've never used a net. I've always used a rod and reel. Have you ever been fishing? What did you like about fishing? I know a lot of people don't like holding worms when they're fishing. Yes. We don't know if they used some lines like we do, but we definitely know that they used all sorts of nets, and they had to constantly fix their nets and get them ready. You know, in the Bible, there are lots of stories about people on a boat and also people fishing. I challenge you to look in your story Bible at home and see if you can find a picture of a boat or a fishing net or a fish. I would love to see that. Well, friends, we want you to, again, take your Jesus friends and cut them out and have fun playing with them this week. Bring them on all sorts of adventures. And remember these wonderful friends who went with Jesus wherever he went, and they were there to support him and love him. Just like God is there to support and love you. All right, we'll see you next week. Bye, friends.
Bye.